Yo mama.
Oh, I'm undefeatable. What's up, Butch?
Yo mama.
Hey.
He-
I had to.
So,
Crypt is not dead.
What a
yeah,
nostalgic reveal. What a nostalgic callback to the very first episode, the very first second of the podcast. This was this is the greatest reference of all time.
yeah. You know what my first word was when I did a podcast with Philly?
What's up?
Hmm.
Hell Hydra.
Oh,
But you won't wear a red skull shirt? I see you. I understand.
Hey.
Oh, don't worry, Dick. We're gonna have
It
one
make it make
custom made. Thanks, Dennis Camp.
if it makes you feel better, I wouldn't wear a Captain Britain shirt or a Red Guardian shirt. Nope, nope,
or a
just can't do
Guardian
Hey,
it.
shirt
that's messed up.
matter because there's Red Guardian and there's Guardian. Honestly, I wouldn't
Mm,
wear a Guardian shirt either.
Nope, it's pure old red, white, and blue Captain America shield for me, you know? So, yeah, yeah. Do-do-do-do.
I'm just saying, I'm so glad I made the correct decision.
There you go. I mean, I wanted to go see Queen in the Ring, but god dang it, like that movie was released literally as I was leaving as I was leaving for my trip, you know?
It happened to
I'm
the
just saying. Some of y'all got to go back and listen to those old Pokemon songs.
Hey Cryptid, I have a question for you.
I want to be the very best. You mean
Cryptid,
that far back? Yeah,
The-
which
to
do you
Diamond and
want
Pearl.
do you want to wear your normal costume or do you want a cool outfit? Please say cool outfit.
I'll stick with I'll stick with the classics. You know, I'm a classic sort of guy, so.
Please pick
But
cool outfit. You don't have
You
a choice.
asked him
okay,
though.
If I got to
okay.
draw Jake in a cool outfit, I want to draw you in a cool outfit. You'll still have your mask.
Something.
I just want to draw you in a cool outfit. It was not a choice.
Okay.
I
What
asked
the
you
heck
so I
of
could tell you I'm doing it. That's
Exactly.
That's basically what
it? Yeah,
no, but crypto. I'm talking about from I want to be the very best to Diamond
Like
and
no one ever
Pearl.
was.
Those were the
Catch
those
them
were
in my real test.
the
Train them for
class
my class.
after Diamond and Pearl. Those themes kind of lost in quality. That's kind of where I found.
But the original black and white theme song was so good.
You mean like the world is in black and white? Like, it's alright.
It's so good.
Remember-
I don't know what you're
It's
talking
okay.
about.
So
It's
innocent.
okay. It's,
Remember when
It's probably the
CW11
worst
held
Pokemon thing.
remember when CW11 actually held a contest for fans to submit lyrics, and winner gets to have their lyrics be used as a song for an opening. Not really happened,
No.
audience. You know? Yeah, that happened.
I think for
Why
me,
we remember that?
I don't really remember that at all. No, I don't.
Yeah,
Uh,
I remember the commercials of that, man. I woke up Saturday night mornings like most kids in the '90s, looking to watch my shows. You know, my CW11, my Fox 5 Kids. You know, so
No, I think that's what Pokemon's been missing for years. I mean, listen, I love me some Horizons, bro, but them theme songs, bro, like when Liko gets to the final battle and the back's against the wall and she's fighting her arch rival, like where's the epic theme song I gotta listen to? When Ash fought Leon, you heard "I Want to Be the Very Best." All right,
Like
where's
no one
her
ever
song?
was.
Yeah, where's her song like that, bro? I just
Yeah, it's the opening, the terrible opening that you like.
yeah, it's mid. I won't say it's terrible. It's okay. I heard the whole song. It's okay. It's yeah.
that's.
So,
But anyway, what's going on, audience?
Long time no hear from the Deadpool Cap love child. He's literally like that's in his lore, guys. That's in his backstory. He is the love child between Deadpool and Captain America. Don't ask, just acknowledge it so we can move on with our lives.
I was the exact opposite of a butt baby that was Peacemaker, audience. You know?
Hey, Cryptid, have you ever heard of the Omegaverse before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. So, all right then. Guys, just want to hop right to it.
yeah, sure.
Sure.
All right. Let's go for it. Welcome to Comic Fanatic Live, the news and reviews of the week, audience. You're here with me, Cryptid Seeker 415. Well, you ain't getting an intro from me, just like you ain't getting new heel John Cena merch. So, deal with it.
Well, hang on, Cryptid. You can't just come in here missing 2 weeks and take the intro sequence that we have done. Okay, we've been taking turns every week doing the intro, preparing for your arrival. Okay, and I don't
Oh,
lose.
okay, so you guys are looking at me as the makers, what you're telling me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But anyway, so to go back to what the audience is used to, it is I, Jake Tylenol, the one who ventures to new horizons, and I'm here to tell you, one of these movies was probably good. We'll see.
Anyway, Bricky Warrior. I'm rarely talking with.
Exactly.
So.
Okay. Well, I am not a cross-dressing rabbit, but I am Richter, also known as the Witch of Jotunheim, and my pronouns have not changed. They are still they and he, motherfucker. Anyways, I switched up how we did our introductions today. So yeah, we can move on to the next important part of this, which is not the reviews itself, but something else. Hey Jake, what made that be?
Dun 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 dun. I don't know what you're trying to reference. I'm
talking about the socials, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I for some reason, you know, it's funny. I can't find our socials thing. It's missing.
Oh no!
I don't know
wonder what happened. Do you want me to just say them so that you can look for them?
Yeah, you can say them.
Okay. Well, first of all, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more dumbass videos like the ones right here, because we make silly little videos. We make Looney videos, if you know what I mean. You can also follow us on Twitter at Comic Phanatic 69, because that's what we do best, you know. Because I totally was the one who made the username. Totally. Just kidding. It was Austin. Anyways, if you don't want to follow the whole squad and you just want to follow me and you want to see my hot takes and my dumbassery, you can follow me on Twitter at Witch of Jotun with an E instead of a U. Remember that. You can also follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch at witch_of_Jotunheim. You can follow me on Tumblr and Blue Sky at Northstar Aria, because I am trying to post on there more, working on it. You can also follow me on RedNote/Xiaohongshu at Witch of Jotun with a U this time. And please, I beg of you, if you want a commission, if you want cool art, please hit me up on Instagram or wherever you follow me. I will most likely answer you because I have no life right now. Please commission me for some cool art. But just remember, Austin was in the new Looney Tunes movie. Unfortunately, he didn't get to see the movie, but hey, you got to be in it. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
And we're lying to the crowd. That's crazy.
Well, we also went out of order because maybe they don't understand that we are the Comic Fanatics. We review movies on our special Sundays. And in case you couldn't tell from the thumbnail, we're going to be reviewing Looney Tunes first and Snow White second. It's a creature double feature.
The creature featuring the creature. Yes. But guess what, guys? We brought Cryptid back from the dead to talk about a great movie and a shit movie. And it'll be up to you to decide which one's which. And I have a question for you. Where are you right now?
Well, I'm not eating a rotten apple, so take a guess of that. So there you go.
But are you eating a rotten tomato?
Nah, there are no tomatoes tonight, Jake. There are only rotten apples.
Get it? Because she died from, never mind. Well, but there's also going to be gum involved. Just letting you know, there's going to be gum involved. So, let's get started, shall we?
Alrighty. Let's start off with something a little loony, audience.
Yeah, boy. Anyways, I'm going to put down my iPad so I can chit-chat with you guys for a second. So, I'm going to be talking about The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, as you can obviously see. It's the first ever 2D animated Looney Tunes movie that got put into theaters, surprisingly. But guess what? Warner Bros. hates people and hates animation, so they only released a trailer about a week before it actually came out. But don't worry, Ketchup Productions, which is the company that released this movie, was like, hey, we got you, bro. So we're going to fully release this movie and we're going to keep it in as long as humanly possible. So I went to go see this movie. I forced my friend to go see this movie on Thursday. Because I wanted to see this movie and I didn't want to watch it alone. And plus, it gives an opportunity for this movie to get more money. So before I even talk about this movie, I'm gonna give you my my ranking and if you should see this movie. I give this movie a 9 out of 10, and you should go see this movie. I don't know how long it's gonna be in theaters for, but please go see it. It is so good. It's what we need in the animation world. Trust. It's exactly what it needs to be, and that's how much I love it. Anyways, but I didn't take notes, so I'm basing this off of my own brain space, so you're going to have to work with me here, okay?
Yeah.
So basically, it's about Porky Pig, you can see up front, and Daffy Duck, who you can also see in the picture. And they have to fix a giant hole in their roof. They don't know how it got there at first, but hey, they got to fix it or else their house, which belonged to their adopted father figure, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
All you need to know is that this is a very important thing. This is a very important house to the two of them, okay? That's all you need to know. So, before their house gets demolished in about less than 2 weeks, they didn't even, the shitty fucking gum lady gave them less than 2 weeks, 10 days. The hell? That's not enough to get a job? The fuck kind of bullshit is this, man? Anyway, so, they got to do what they got to do just to try to make some money. They keep getting fired from all their jobs. And, down on their luck, they hang out in, like, a freaking diner or whatever, and they meet this other character, this other pig named Petunia, right? She is a scent scientist, like a flavor scientist, and she works at a nearby gum factory, okay? They're well known for the gum. And so, basically, they get a job at the gum factory. Hell fucking yeah. So, they're doing great. But something suspicious is happening. So I didn't bring this up, even though it's like the first scene in the movie. The scientist guy, he looks through a telescope and he sees an asteroid and he sees a UFO. So he goes to check out the UFO that crashed on Earth. And all you need to know is that he gets possessed by whatever the fuck was in this UFO. And he puts alien goo, while he's under control, alien goo into the gum. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. Anyways, so Daffy sees all this and he's trying to like stop people from chewing this new gum, right? So that they don't become zombie-like creatures. But no one believes him because, he's super loony. No puns intended. And Porky's all pissed off because he's trying to get with Petunia and everything like that. And Daffy's like, dude, like, look. It's like people are getting possessed. And so you might be wondering, what was in the UFO? Well, I'll fucking tell you, guys. It was an alien. Oh my God. Shocker. Who is shocked? Raise your hand if you're shocked. No one? Great. Anyways, so once like Daffy was able to convince Porky and Petunia that there's aliens, they do everything they can to stop the aliens. I'm not gonna get too much out of that, because I do want everyone to see it. There is a post-credit scene. I do recommend you watching it because even though it's really short and it's kind of funny, but it works. We do get to see some like different animation styles, kind of, that really do fit the Looney Tunes aesthetic. Obviously, we have this one, and then we have ones that fit into like the little song that they had while they're working at the gum factory, and then. Slight spoilers, but there was this one scene where Porky says that Daffy, sorry, I'm thinking of my friend whose name's Ducky, shout out. So Daffy is the key to like stopping all this, and so we see like a shadowed out like real life person being like, who greenlit this shit? Like, what the hell is this? And so he walks off. I thought that was really funny. Petunia as a character, she did show up in one of the animated shows. I don't remember. I think it's like the most recent one. Don't quote me on that. But she was a really great character. She obviously, like I said, she's a flavor scientist who works at the gum factory, and no one ever takes her seriously because she like is testing out the flavors of like things that you should not put in your mouth, but it's fine. But keep in mind, like, does she get controlled by the alien gum goo? Spoiler alert, yes, but she did play a big part in stopping all of the nonsense from happening, stopping all the bullshit from happening. Like the alien, like freaking invasion, the one alien invasion, and everything that happens at the back half. Don't worry about it. But keep in mind, she's a really cool character. She's pretty competent. She's not just a damsel. Like, she kind of was a damsel at the end, but not really. She's pretty cool. I thought the relationship between Porky and Daffy was pretty good. And if you're wondering, Bugs does not show up. This is a very self-contained story between Porky and Daffy, and Petunia in this case. Yeah, you don't really see any other pre-existing Looney Tunes characters outside of those three, which I kind of like, because like if you put a bajillion Looney Tune characters, it's gonna get oversaturated, overcrowded, and you don't know who to give the time to. So I think that's why I like the fact that they kept it between the three characters, mostly Porky and Daffy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like I enjoyed a lot of the jokes. I know there's gonna be that one person being like, why is Daffy shaking his ass to try to be an influencer? I'm like, you would too for a check. Jesus Christ. And plus, like, that's not the craziest thing that's come out of Looney Tunes. So calm the fuck down. Calm your tits. Okay? Calm your tits.
We've all done things we're not proud of for money after all, so,
I mean, keep in mind, it blew up in their faces anyways. Keep in mind, this was like in the first 10 minutes of the movie, so I'm not really spoiling too much. But it's still a really good movie. And it doesn't have to be, what I like is that it doesn't have to pretend to be more than what it actually is. It's like, you don't need to be a Looney Tunes expert to know this is a Looney Tunes movie. You're not expecting any super deep plot, nothing too nuanced, nothing too crazy. Like, we do get a little bit of an emotional arc, kind of, with Porky and Daffy, because Porky wants to hang out with Petunia as much as possible because, he's crushing hard, and Daffy wants to, like, fix this shit. But keep in mind, he's a little too crazy, a little bit too loony. If they use Looney a lot, by the way, to actually like help out. So Daffy tries to is left behind while Porky and Petunia are doing stuff. And when, spoiler alert, I'm gonna spoil this, so if you don't want more spoilers, I would recommend you go see this movie, because I don't know how long it's gonna be until this movie's taken out of theater. So please go see this movie, I beg of you. Anyways, so there's an asteroid, right, that the alien guy was going to use the fucked up gum, the compromised gum, to deflect the asteroid away from Earth, because he likes Earth's most precious resource. And I'll let you think about what it is before I tell you what the resource is. Okay.
Wait.
Yes.
Can I add, are you saying alien guy because you don't know his name, or you just don't want to spoil who it is?
No, he doesn't really have a name. Like, in the credits, he's known as Intruder, but I'm calling him Alien because he's an alien. So
It's not Marvin. All right.
No, it's not Marvin. It's someone else.
Yeah, because we can only think of one alien Looney Tunes character that exists.
Yeah, but no, it's not Marvin. Marvin's not in this. I feel like I need to preface this.
Got it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we just checking.
Okay, just checking? Okay. No problem. Thank you for asking. It gives me more time to talk about this movie. Anyways, so while you're thinking about what the precious Earth resource is, so yeah, basically that's why he went to and compromised the gum and controlled the gum, so that he can have everyone who is chewing the gum make a giant enough bubble, a gum bubble, to deflect the asteroid from the Earth. But guess what? He didn't tell anyone. So they thwarted his plans. The trio thwarted his plans because he didn't say anything. He was just doing it. It was like, okay. I think they would have been all right with doing that, but whatever, for the most part. But don't worry. They have to now destroy the asteroid. So the trio going down, they are in the process of it. They do explode the asteroid from the inside, but Daffy gets stuck on the gum that Petunia made, because that was the device he used to make it explode, because it's mind-blowing if you catch my drift.
Okay.
But Porky
Fine there.
stays with Daffy because going back to what I said earlier, they are not going to leave each other behind, because no matter what happens, they're going to be all right. It's going to be fine and dandy. But guess what? After they thought that they died, they didn't die. They're fine. They're cartoon characters. Why would they die? It's a Looney Tunes thing. It's not going to get that dark. But now I'm going to tell you what Earth's greatest resource is, and you won't believe me when I tell you this. It's boba.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
It was
boba.
more like, okay.
They made a joke about that. So the alien was like, oh, like, I'm trying to save the Earth. Like, I love, like, Earth's greatest resource. And they're like, uranium, gold, stuff, like, stuff that they think would be valuable to an alien. And so the alien, summons, like, a giant statue of boba. And then he buys everyone's boba at the end of the movie, which I think was kind of funny. Feel bad for those workers, though. But, yeah, it was a really good movie. During the credit scene, like the initial credit scene, they show up a whole bunch of sketches from the movie, like character designs and everything like that. And it was so good. I think this was like a great movie to see, especially if you don't want to watch slop coming out of the big corporations. And the next movie, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, but it is definitely a breath of fresh air. I do recommend you go see it. It is very well animated. The voice acting is amazing. It feels like an old school Looney Tunes thing, and it really does show, but it's really, really good. So please keep checking your theater times and go see it as soon as possible, because I think it's going to get pulled from a lot of theaters. So please go watch it. I beg of you. Give this movie your money. Yeah. And I'm going to give my thoughts on the next movie because I didn't see it and I refuse to see it, but I did see a lot of clips on TikTok. You would think that the role of the evil queen would be perfect for Gal Gadot. No, it wasn't. That movie was trash, and I didn't even need to see the movie. But anyways, go see a good movie. If you want to see a good movie, please go see Looney Tunes. The day the Earth blew up. And you know what? Fuck it. If you can, go see the movie Flow. It won the Academy Award, okay? This is potentially one of the best movies that came out for me this year, and it's contender for the best movie of the year. Anyways, that's my time. Please enjoy. I got to talk about this movie for 23 minutes. Okay, go.
Good. There you
Actually,
go.
it was less because it was less. We really talked about it for like 10, I think.
Yeah.
10, 15, yeah.
Because I don't have anyone to back up, like, to go off of. I had to yap it by itself because, like, none of you guys were able to see it.
Well, you know what? If I was told earlier that you were watching Snow White, I would have watched it.
If you ask, you might know.
This was already talked about before. Right. So, I mean.
Regardless, I will now take my leave. I'm going to work on the cover for tomorrow and also play some Minecraft and maybe do some laundry. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Remember, go see Looney Tunes. Bye.
Yeah. All right. With that, let's move on to the next one, audience. So, a little thing called Snow White happened this week, audience. The movie that everybody was talking about for the wrongest of reasons, for what, like, how long has it been since people have been trashing this movie?
Did you see the post online where they're like, this is why the movie's gonna lose $3 billion, and it's just like the backside of this actress here, and just because she has hair on her back. It's like, what the fuck are we doing, bro?
I saw that once and I was like thinking, wait, are they just referencing like the spine curves or something like that? I didn't even notice the hair. Like, it was just so insignificant. But even if that
it's just a joke because they did it's a joke because the guy who did it was the same guy who did the Bailey back hair post a while back. It's just a joke.
Okay.
The joke was not.
Bailey was in an interview and they noticed he had neck hair and that was funny.
Gotcha. Anyway, yeah, Snow White finally came about, audience. So yeah, what are your thoughts?
I think just like Little Mermaid, story wise, it's better than the original, but visual wise, it's not as good. That's really, I think that's like a
Yeah.
consistent theme with all these, like with the ones that I've seen. Like usually the story tweaks I like better than the originals, but I can't like look at them as well. That's usually what it is.
Gotcha.
That's not to say the story doesn't have problems. It's just that as a narrative, this was like more like watchable. Like there's more going on to me than like Snow White is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
For me, I kind of have like a different standpoint in this. Like, for me, this could have been way worse than it originally was. Because, like, remember, audience, this was supposed to have come out last year, but for obvious reasons, this had to be pushed back in, to now. But they use the time wisely to kind of adjust, add, and put some stuff in the movie to tend to calm down the backlash that was evicted by the main actress herself, Rachel Ziegler, and you can definitely feel that in this movie. So, yeah, it could have been worser. That's my standpoint. Austin,
I kind of feel the same way. That's
yeah,
all I really got to say.
gotcha.
Um, I think right off the bat, one of the things I did appreciate was the character of Snow White. I like how they still kept the innocence angle, but they did a little more with it. I think my biggest problem with the original, and we watched this for like a movie night. My biggest problem with the
Yeah.
original movie is like Snow White is just a nice girl, and that's really kind of all there is to it. It doesn't really mean anything for the movie other than the symbolism of like what she is versus what the queen is. But I like that we we did not like super deep. It's not like wow, Snow White's like a very layered bunch. It's just a little bit deeper to where like I'm like, oh okay, this is why Snow White's like a character that I could root for, you know. I did like even they tried to make her more of like a leader with people. Like they used her niceness to show
Yeah.
that she could lead people. I thought it does fall flat at the end because we'll get into it later, but there's like a line of dialogue that makes that ending make no sense to me.
I did not see the equation of being nice to meaning you're actually a good leader. I'm like, nah,
Well, no,
it
it's
doesn't
more like
work
she
that
can
way.
yeah, well, no, it's like we'll get
She's
into that part later, but it was the way that she was able, her kindness and her ability to take charge in situations when things were getting chaotic was something that I appreciated from this iteration of Snow White. And I think Rachel Zegler, that's her name, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I think she did a really good job in this role, surprisingly so. I'm not saying she was like the greatest actress of all time, but it was just more like every time she was on screen, I was more or less engaged with what was happening with her. So that's kind of where it was. So
For me, her performance here just really shined in like her musical numbers because she has a voice. I mean, I did see her in that last Hunger Games film. I mean, that's really the only other movie I ever saw her in, and yeah, she does have she does have a voice. She knows how to nail it, and but aside from that, it's whatever. I guess I have more of the issues of like the storyline routes the writers went with her character, but we'll get more into that later. Austin,
Yeah, you're pretty much nailing everything I would have said on the head. To be honest, like I don't really have a lot to add. I think I'm completely agreed and corrected about a lot of stuff.
oh wow, look at us. We're the Peter and Ben Riley of this tonight audience. So
there you go.
all right.
I think we can all say something we all do agree on. Gal Gadot. Oh my god. I was like, I don't think I have a history of like shitting on actors. I don't think I do. Maybe if I went back and thought about it. But like, this is the first time I looked at the movie. I was like, Jesus, this was a miscast and a half. The scene where she tries to like intimidate Snow White, like she's like trying to be like the overbearing, like evil mother, but I'm like, I'm not feeling it. Like you just kind of seem like a regular person. You know what I mean? So
I was trying to think about like, are they trying to just go with the telling her to like act like remember you're a shallow person because beauty to you will be skin deep and all, but as far as moments like Jake just said, Yeah, this was the moment for you to be intimidating, so it didn't really come across as that, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
one
think
thing I
it.
was like a little one thing I was like a little bit confused about though, with her, right? Okay, so audience, currency in this Snow White movie doesn't exist. Apparently, there's no money, there's no coins, but because like apparently everybody freely shares crops, this and that. And the evil queen is wicked because she chooses to hoard all the crops and that stuff for herself. I'm like, really, really?
Yeah, well, I mean, before we
Huh.
had money, we did trade, so that does track. If that's what you're
Yeah,
critiquing, that does track for
yeah,
an
because
old. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm just also like looking at certain scenes, like when we see like that a room filled with potatoes. I'm like, there's no way you could tell me that that lady's gonna be able to finish all those potatoes before
Yeah,
those start
it's a really
rotting.
shallow reason to try
Oh
to,
yeah,
try
yeah,
to say that he's evil. It's really
yeah,
dumb
yeah,
looking.
Yeah. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, hey Jake, you remember? I think that scene you were talking about, like between the Evil Queen and Snow White, right? When they were at the dinner table, like
Mhm,
she has a long table in front of her, and it's filled with food. You know,
mhm.
there's no way you could tell me Gal Gadot will be able to eat all that food in one go. You know?
Yeah, no,
No,
that's
no,
fair.
that's the point of trying to say he's evil though. So it's gonna be like, oh, she took one bite and then threw all the food away instead of giving it out.
I,
Yeah.
I kind of wish. Yeah, also, I kind of wish they showed that at least. Okay, like she takes one
No,
bite
that
of a
was my
salmon
criticism.
and
Like,
throws it away.
there's a lot of bad showing when you should really be
Hmm.
like, this is time to tell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I also agree on that. And I mean, it's really like to me, it's like the queen is like evil. And I think a scene like, because like I imagine that scene if it was animated, right? Like imagine like you first meet the queen, she's like eating a potato, like Snow White walks in the room, she eats the potato, and then she's like, yeah, this is gross, throws it at like a guard somewhere across the room. He's like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like that would have been like something you could do. Um I just for example, I think that could work in live action. I think it just the goofy nature would have lent itself more to animation for that.
Hmm.
I would have her take like one bite and be like, nah, this is enough, and throw it all in trash.
Yeah.
There.
So
Oh, or you could have done this because apparently, like, apples is the staple fruit of this kingdom, right? You could have once she gained power over this kingdom, she takes one bite of an apple and be like, "Oh, I actually hate apples. Back away with them. They shall be." You know?
they are poisonous.
Yeah. Heed my warning, townspeople. Apples will be the death of you. You know?
I was
Uh,
and going back to the to just the lack of I want to use another word than animation, but that is what it is. I think there's so many scenes in this movie where I'm like, man, this looks flat. Like I was really hoping after Little Mermaid they at least would have learned that lesson that like
mhm.
you gotta at least do the visuals too. And I'm not saying like I mean I'm watching the scene with the dwarves and them doing their musical number, and I'm like, this is just like boring to look at. You know what I mean? I
I
like, and
think
I know you can't translate like in live action. You can't just do the over the top goofy stuff that like an animator could
you,
do. But we gotta find a translation somewhere. Like there's got to be like a code
you
you gotta crack for it.
It's funny you should mention that, Jay, because they actually tried doing a little bit of over the topness with the Queen when they gave her own musical number. Like you could definitely tell Gal Gadot was like wanting to ham it up a little bit during there, but it still didn't translate well, really. You know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think that's more from Disney's seemingly lack of respect for their classic stuff. To be honest,
Hmm.
they want to play it all like more seriously in modern day, but and then these still was cartoons and stuff meant for kids. You still ham it up. We're like actors. People don't mind campy films, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I think we can agree like everyone they made have we went away from that like that type of aspect of those films.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what it's missing. I think it's just like again, I do like I mean this movie more than Little Mermaid has more faults to it, but I do like the story additions there, but I do miss like as much as I don't like the Snow White movie, the original one, I do miss that like vibrancy in that movie that I think was missing from here. And I think that's the one element they need if they want to keep doing these. I think that's the one element they need. They should treat their live action princesses like how they treated the Disney, like the animated ones, where it was like we're trying to find ways to revolutionize the genre. And Lion King kind of does that, where Lion King's like, well, look what we did with fucking CGI. Look how we made these fucking lions like fucking talk. You know what I mean? But I'm saying with like Little Mermaid and like Snow White and like movies like these, like they need to find a way to like, if you're gonna do these, revolutionize the game. You know what I'm saying? Make a new renaissance for CGI. You know? So,
Yeah, So is what it is. Anything you guys want to talk about? Anything else you guys want to talk about? The queen, the queen's performance,
Um,
or what they did.
She's just boring. Like she's just like she's a boring villain. Like she doesn't really capture the imagination. I think Ursula and again Little Mermaid was better. I didn't finish Mufasa, so but I don't know.
Stop bringing up that thing, all right?
Well, I mean, to be fair of Ursula, she's more of an exotic sort of character as opposed to the queen. Because, like, I mean, even if you go back to like the original Snow White, right? She was very surface level, queen, smooth, and all that stuff.
I think that's the problem with trying to flesh these characters out, though. Like Jake was saying, he appreciated what he did for the character, but I don't think a simple character is necessarily a bad one in general. Not that Jake was saying that. I know a lot of people treat that as a thing now. The queen was simple, and her reason for hating was simple. I think in their attempt to try to make her more evil, actually had like the opposite effect. It just made her look stupid.
Yeah,
Like the people just be mad at people. People just not like people.
You know what? I kind of would have wanted them to have fleshed out her whole need to be the fairest.
Yeah,
like,
but I agree.
That would have been.
I agree with Austin on when it comes to that. I don't really think I need her. It's just like she's prettier than me. Fuck you. It's like, you know what I mean? I kind of like that. Like I'm just a hater. I like that personally, but
I mean,
like I don't mind like the idea that they both see Ferris as in a different way.
Yeah,
but I don't like the idea that the mirror also sees it in a different way.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Like I don't know how to justify that, bro. I bought you.
Queen.
You know what I'm talking about when I say Ferris, bro.
Queen. Remember, the mirror does not have eyes. So come on. We all can tell you're beautiful and all that stuff, So
I like I do like the changes they made to the prince. The way they were talking about this movie, I guess I was in the reshoots. I thought
no, these are from the reshoots.
I'm about to say I was like, I thought this dude was gonna be like gone. Like I was like, oh, he has a lot of relevance to the story. And he did the kiss. I was like, oh, okay.
That could not have been in the original.
All that was added back. Yeah, all that was added back. You have actual recordings of Rachel Zegler saying the prince and her were not going to kiss. None of that was going to happen. There was no romance.
She was saying that with pride, as if that was an accomplishment that the prince was gone.
The original prince had no romance. The prince had a very small role, and even the dwarves, like there was something she said specifically about the dwarves. I can't remember the comment right now, though.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to clarify something about the prince audience. Technically, there is no prince in this film because they decided let's make him a thief instead. I was like,
that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Again, I have no attachment to the original, so you have to remind me of the themes of that movie. I didn't mind this because it did tie into the narrative of Snow White's character, but I don't remember what it was like. I don't remember.
Oh no, I'm trying to remember correctly. Because we had actually the original had like a decent small plot with the prince and his father before he went to find Snow White and stuff.
Yeah. Let's also clarify.
I don't mind him being a thief, but I don't like you taking the title of prince from him. Like it could have been like the Prince Ali thing, where it's like this is how he interacts with the kingdom and stuff without being sworn by people and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a prince of men.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted him to be to kind of strip the ranking of Prince out, you could have at least said, I don't know, maybe his kingdom was destroyed or whatever, and the queen's.
I had the evil queen take his kingdom.
Yeah, you could have done that, Yeah, you could
have. She took his kingdom, and then she married Snow White's dad. or where
Yeah.
the original thing was.
Oh, you could have done that whole thing about like, okay, you think this was the
She could have
first
been
time
a
the
Black
queen?
Widow killer, bro. She could have been
Yeah,
killing her husband. I got some
exactly. Like,
interesting angles
you
here.
think, yeah, you think Snow White's dad was the first king she married and took their throne from? Yeah, So,
This is how she gets kingdoms. Like, there she goes.
mhm.
Yeah, I was like,
Um,
you did that was a funny way to flesh all that out. To be honest,
Mhm.
I think
Um,
I think I like the Prince and Snow White's plotline again because and by the way, a lot of these changes I'm only gonna like in terms of Snow White's character.
yeah.
So take that as you will. But I did like
I just
how
like.
it does. Again, it
I think.
highlights Snow
Go ahead.
White's
Go ahead.
it highlights Snow White's kindness. It highlights her ability to inspire the crowd. But they fucked up because they said a line that they shouldn't have said if they're gonna have the ending they did. He says to her, she says something along the lines of like, yeah, everyone says you think about people, but no one ever knows what you don't do anything. Like no one knows who you are. And so at the end, when Snow White goes to the kingdom,
what?
everyone's like, it's Snow White. I'm like, huh? What?
Yeah, I
She
find that
thinks about
really
people. You
weird.
know who she is.
Dude, I find that really weird because, like, another thing about this Snow White character, everybody treats her like a dang hero for surviving a snowstorm upon her birth. Like that was like the biggest accomplishment they've ever heard. I'm like, what?
That was my problem. Kurt, you don't watch Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones do that dumb shit too, where it's like, oh, that was a storm when she was born. That's she's the Stormborn, and it's a title she wears for pride. It's like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
God.
It rained.
That
I don't care.
sounds stupid. Like that's like naming a child after after a hurricane happens. Like, hey, okay, Hurricane Katrina passes by. Okay, we'll name our daughter Katrina in honor of it. Like what?
Katrina born.
Yeah,
Katrina board is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was a stretch to
Catherine
try
Katrina
just.
born.
Yeah, that was like that's the length of a stretch they had to go in order to justify the casting of Rachel Zegler's Snow White audience in this adaptation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it if they just left it at in the beginning of the film because they literally gave you the reason why they gave her the name of Snow White within the first 2 minutes of the film, right, audience? But they just kept going back to that story as if she's a legend for that. It just didn't
Yeah.
make sense. Uh-huh.
And again, it's like the prince says that like he's supposed to be the spokesman for the people. As far
Yeah.
as like the people seem to be concerned, no one has seen or talked to Snow White outside those castle walls. The only people who should be inspired by her are all the soldiers in the castle. That's about it.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
like,
and let's not forget, like
Even
from the
then,
moment,
bro, it's like
yeah, from the moment she was a child when her dad died to the moment we see her in the present, right? She was basically a housemaid throughout all that time.
I could see people in the castle being like, oh, she's such a nice girl. She's always thinking about others. She's always helping me with shit. Like, I get that. That's where I was like, okay, well, if you're in the castle, sure.
no, I get that, but even then, that wouldn't inspire people to do things. It's like, oh, she's a nice person. I might help her out, but not the same saying, yeah, go fight to your death for me, bro, because I was nice to you last week. Like, no,
you were so
insane.
nice to me.
Oh my god. She remembers your name. God.
Oh well, no, actually, no. That one I understood because that was more like
remember a leader remember your name usually is pretty like a big deal, even like in real life. I can expect that. Like imagine like you go to work and your boss knows every employee person. I think that is a good sentiment.
Yeah. And then also it's like these people weren't soldiers because originally they were farmers and they were maid soldiers. Yeah. So it's like the fact that she took the time to care for them enough to learn their history and their names and stuff like that would speak a lot to somebody. They'd be like, yeah.
I don't know, Snow White. You had all that time in the kitchen. You could have probably given them snuck in maybe a potato or two to some of the soldiers during the Queen's reign. That could have been the way.
Yeah, if she were doing that, I would understand like the loyalty situation. Like if she was sneaking food out of the castle to people, I understand like the inspiring thing because she's still making a stand. I just being nice to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, I just think that plot point is a bit confusing. It just that one piece of information we get in the beginning that Snow White does not interact with the rest of the kingdom contradicts what we need for the ending. I do believe
You
that
know,
the people.
what's funny, Jake? I just thought about wait, Jake, I just thought about. I don't want to lose this thought. They're the same problem I had with Wonder Woman, the first movie, which also Gal Gadot, because they go out their way to tell you that men can change all this other stuff, but it's still Ares' death that causes men to change.
Yeah, that's why I hate.
They want you to believe. She wants to have belief in humanity and faith in people and stuff, and she believes in the good of men. But it doesn't matter because the only reason change happened because she beat Ares.
Yes.
So everything Gary said in that movie, that's like
it's true.
Wow.
I will say also another thing. I'm conflicted on this part of the movie because this is actually something in the original I think they could have adapted fine. It would have been a little bit different, but the reason Snow White eats the apple is different in this one.
What the little one she gets hungry?
Yeah, the original one it was like she was being nice to an old lady, and the old lady offered her an apple, and then like she ate it. Yeah. And this one it was like, well, you're not strong enough to fight the queen, so take this apple, it'll give you powers and shit. I'm like, I don't know. That kind of, I mean, especially when you're trying to do this whole thing, like it's like this whole thing about being kind. I thought it would have been interesting to reflect on that moment from the original movie. And it's like, yeah, her kindness is nice, but sometimes it could get her like killed. You know what I mean? Like I wish you could get that part in. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, just because you're kind of, just because you're kind of a stranger doesn't mean they're not going to try backstabbing you. You know, so. Yeah.
I think, especially because like I think it also would have been nice too because yes, like the witch abused that, but then the people that she was actually nice to that loved her and cared for her, the people who stood by her, and the prince also came back. So I thought they should just somehow made that work. Like Snow White was just helping someone, and then like
I just like how we can only refer to him as the prince, even though he's a named character. But
yeah, I can't remember his name. What's your name? He was pretty alright. He did his thing.
Yeah. He did what he could, and I know this probably could have been an awkward situation between that actor and Rachel Ziegler to have to come back and do these scenes again. Yeah, you seem kind of happy that I would have gotten my roles cut, so that would have been awkward.
I just want to say thank you for giving me a paycheck again, huh?
Yeah. Think of it that way, Yeah, so another thing, I want to talk about like his little troop brigade, but that kind of coincides with the dwarves. You guys want to talk about them first?
The troop brigade was weird.
The 3 that mattered and the 4 that didn't get one dialogue. I agree.
Yeah, it was weird because it was like I did kind of like the thing they did where they had the dwarves and these people like argue or something. I thought that was cool, but outside of that, there was like a moment in the movie where I'm like, I stopped. I thought about it. I was like, what happened to the brigade? Like they just go missing. Like, where'd they go?
Yeah, that brigade, they felt like they were recycled in this movie. He says, remember, like, when that set photo was leaked and everybody saw that was going to be the replacement for the dwarves. Of course, they had to, during the reshoots, they had to actually add the dwarves into the film. So then what are you going to do with those 7 actors? Yeah, I think this was the best they could. They were like, this is the best we could do with those characters to at least still use them going forward,
Yeah.
Because that was a hell of a coincidence if you're telling me that. Yeah, because like that was a hell of a coincidence to have literally just 7 people in the Prince's Brigade, Like,
Every time I think of the picture of the lead picture of the dwarf, I always think of the picture of the Lost Boys we got for wherever that Peter and Wendy bullshit.
Yeah.
The same photo, like the same area and everything.
There you go.
I think they almost made it work. It was like I did like the crossover with the dwarves and the brigade plotline. Like I said, they just go missing. The problem is that they just go missing. The movie had like 30 more minutes to do something with the brigade. I think they could have made something, but I don't think the movie. To be fair, I say that, but I don't think the movie has enough in it to make me feel like I want 30 more minutes of this. You know what I mean? But to make
30 more minutes, you definitely would have got one more Gal Gadot song. Can you handle that?
That's true. But I think
30 more minutes, you would have gotten a song from that brigade right there. You know,
it would have been nice if this movie just started like Snow White's misadventures, and it's like she goes from the dwarves to the brigade, and then the brigade has their own little plot, and then they come back, which is kind of what they try to do. It just got shortchanged. They come back.
They call it Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. We talk about taking more time away from the dwarves.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, they had the problem with the dwarves was like they had their moment. It just wasn't used in an effective way to be. Like I kind of don't care about them. I think they had the exact amount of screen time they needed. I think the problem is that screen time was not used effectively. That's my take on it.
Seven Dwarfs. Let me give a comment on the Seven Dwarfs situation. As far as their design goes, I feel like they were in they were from a different movie.
Oh my god! Yes.
Yeah, like maybe if this was like in an animated movie where everything was of that sort of style, okay, yeah, you could go with it, but it just didn't blend in when you see them with actual regular people, you know? So,
I said the same thing, and also the dope.
Did I miss it? Like, did they sing "Hi Ho" at all? Did I miss it?
They did. Yeah.
They did. Like the
I think I missed the first scene, but I think I literally passed out mid-film because there's no other way I didn't see it. I was in theater the whole time.
No,
y'all laughing. It's not a joke. It's like this is a comedy.
Austin's legit concerned. He's like, "What the fuck happened? My blank couch? Did I have a disease?"
You didn't see them mining for Energon, Austin. Is what you're telling me? Wow.
What are they mining for? Why are they mining? Who they give that shit to?
Originally, in original, they mined for jewels and stuff to sell and trade.
Yeah, they're rich after all, audience, like the original dwarves.
But remember them, they get dumb jewels. It doesn't mean anything to them.
Yeah, but they did something a little weird this time. They gave them glowy hands. Jake, I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. No, I wasn't. I was distracted by Dopey looking like the cover for Mad Magazine.
He looks like Dewey from Malcolm Middle.
Yeah. Oh, an audience, like they further tried to justify not casting, little people to play these dwarves by at more than one point trying to mention that these dwarves are not human. Glowy hands. They're like about almost 300 years old.
The real life humans are not human. Remember that. Fuck you. What's that guy's name?
Peter Dinklage.
Thank you. Fuck you, Peter Dinklage.
Okay. Would you say fuck you to all the other actors of that stature who are upset that they didn't get a paid gig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one time a role is made for them and they don't get it, that's kind of crazy, bro.
Yeah. I mean, you saw that last what you call that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the one with Johnny Depp. You know the guy who played the Oompa Loompa, Austin. He got paid. He got paid 10.
He was really tall.
He got paid $10 million. Austin, he got paid $10 million for that role.
Oh, he said 10 grand. I was like, what the fuck?
No, 10 million, man. Yeah.
Congrats to him, man. 10 million is crazy.
Yeah. So just saying, if for anybody who's in that community that's very pissed off about this situation, I would feel you. So yeah. Let's see. What else about the dwarf situation? Oh, there's one change I really wanted to talk about. The quote unquote controversy of, Snow White having to clean up after them. Because I know some people thought it was inappropriate of us to portray Snow White as being the one that had to clean up after them, despite the fact that she's living in their house for free at the moment.
Yeah, you mean the one who broke into their house and wanted to pay back their generosity for her to stay there by cleaning? That's crazy.
I know. They just felt. Some people felt like that was like what's the term? Gender roles or whatever like that term is. Yeah. So in this, their way to fix it was to not have Snow White clean up for them. It was to have Snow White teach them how to clean up by singing to them. What?
That's kind of demeaning. You think these grown men ought to clean up just because they're small.
Well, they weren't cleaning up.
Well, I mean,
yeah, no. That's because they didn't want to. That's because they didn't know how.
Yeah. Well, now they
Yeah,
learn that you can't live in a
but here,
pigsty house. Okay.
hey, I kind of wanted to defend the dwarves in this situation because you guys know what it's like having to break stone. You guys have any idea what that's like?
Do you go to
That
the
is
mines and
back.
break stone? What?
Well, I mean, I've broken concrete before.
Oh,
You know,
I
I
was
mean,
like,
before.
what is
Yeah,
it?
I mean,
Nah, that shit
hey,
hard.
hey, working with my dad
That's
in
exhausting.
construction. Yeah, working in construction with my dad. That was my summer vacation for y'all audience. So yeah, you work all day with a pickaxe. You maneuver large boulders. You had to set up all those train tracks, this and that, all by the dwarf's hands. Audience, keep that in mind. By the time they get back home, they're exhausted. They probably have blisters in their hands. Their muscles are aching, and from what I recall, right, by the time they got back home, it was already nighttime, when they met Snow White. So they just came back home just to sleep. They couldn't cook themselves a meal or anything like that. So it's kind of weird that you're telling me, like, okay, they should be learning to clean up after themselves, where I'm like, dude, these guys are busting their butts out all day, literally, and in the mines.
Yeah,
Who's
bro.
at home? Yeah, cleaning up should be that the responsibility of cleaning up in the house should be to whoever is actually in the house all day.
Well, that's
Like,
it. Why are there 7 of them in
And
the mines and
also,
one of
they
them?
do clean up. It's called spring cleaning, and it's not spring anymore.
Yeah. So we wait once a year and then we work our asses off. We take a day off and just clean this shit, bro. But no, well, why all 7 of them gotta go, bro? Why can't they just have one stay behind, just clean up, and then you could just join us whenever you're done? You know what I mean? I was like,
it's all hands on deck, Jake. Come on, you know
well, I
how
mean, if
hard.
the job ain't paying, they're not making money. They're just doing
Keep,
this for
keep,
shits and
keep,
giggles.
keep this in mind. Keep this in mind, Jake. You want to mine as much of the material that's in that cave as possible before some other blokes come by and find that and are like, "Oh, okay. Us full-grown guys could definitely take on these dwarves." So, like, yeah, this mine is
Well,
ours.
here's my thing. Here's my thing. We already established there's no money in this universe. They're just doing this for shits and giggles. Someone can stay
No,
home.
that
And
means
clean.
they traded it. No, that means they traded.
Yeah,
Oh, they
yeah,
oh yeah, I guess that's true. They traded for food
Jake.
and shit. Yeah, I guess so.
Jake, I'm just saying, only this kingdom that the queen has, they have no money or currency or whatever that they work with.
Yeah.
But other kingdoms likely do, which is why the dwarves have no business literally dealing with the queen's kingdom right now. So
I like the idea that they're the only people getting food from her, and because they're giving her the jewels, that would actually been a cool, relationship. Then they could add it, even just a little bit of depth to the
Oh, you
situation.
have to be like the double agent. Like that first they want to turn instant white, but they're like, oh, she's so nice. I don't want to do that.
yeah. She's so nice. She
I think
cleaned
them
up
having like
after
a symbiotic
her
relationship
house.
with the queen for food would be like, but yeah, I think it would add a little bit of depth to them all. And then you can
Yeah.
have Dopey be the reason she even finds out about it.
Yeah. So, audience,
It's been
there is
30
nothing.
minutes and we came up with better ideas than a lot of stuff in the film.
Exactly. Audience, there's nothing wrong or inappropriate about a guest in someone's house cleaning up after them, no matter what your status is. You guys know I was on a trip down South America to visit my parents, right? You know what I was doing? What I did some days? I was cleaning the kitchen for them, organizing some of the clothes in there that's lying on the floor, this and that, And hey, I'm a guy. There you go.
Yeah. I guess I forgot I forgot she even cleaned up in there. I knew she helped. I didn't realize she was the only one doing it. In terms of like how I feel about it,
No,
it's more like
no.
they were into it. They
Jake,
liked it.
Jake,
Like,
In
like,
the river, they
Jake,
wasn't even really cleaning up after either. It was more like she was discussing how dirty the stuff was, started cleaning up by herself. They didn't have to do it. And she offered
Right.
to do it. She was like, I
hey,
gotta do it.
Hey, I had to rewatch that scene with Snow White in the original film, right? When she was cleaning up, she was getting the animals to help her, right? But emphasis on just help her because she was actually doing some of the sweeping and some of the dishwashing too, and she was politely instructing the animals how to clean up, right?
Mhm.
Some of that dialogue she's actually giving to the dwarves in this movie, which I kind of find a little bit demeaning because, like, okay, yeah, you
Yeah.
will have to instruct animals how to clean up because they don't know anything about cleaning up. I mean, they would defecate on whatever they're standing on. I mean, you saw one scene of like one of the reindeer. He's like trying to clean the dishes by literally licking the dishes with his tongue, and Snow White's like, no, 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 that's not how you do that. You have to wash it and put it in the water and this and that. Here, she's putting
Imagine
those sorts of
expecting an animal to
dialogue
do
to
all that too. What kind of sick slave master shit is this?
the I know, but imagine how the
He
meaning
brought
it
some
is to
things
have.
from the woods and then told them how to clean someone else's house, bro. Like they didn't have a choice. They were threatened by a voice that they forced to clean up someone else's stuff. That's insane.
She was she was they were being kind to her. But again, in this movie,
Crazy,
eliminate
crazy.
eliminate
Just think about you're the one deer in the woods that know how to wash dishes for some reason. Just think about that.
Mhm.
And like going to catch Pokemon, they all got weird different traits. Yeah. Oh, I know how to use a dish rag. What the fuck did that do for me in the woods?
Put that on
I
your job
know,
application.
right? So, yeah. There's that. There's that. I just found that I just found that weird that she was talking to the dwarves as if they were the animals from the original film.
Yeah,
So
maybe maybe I wasn't paying attention to the dialogue that well. It's just like to me, it was like they're into it. They don't care. Like so I didn't really care. I didn't really think. I forgot that I forgot she cleaned basically by herself in the original. So like to me, it was just like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I just forgot.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
Like that, both of the problems I had with the film came with the changes to that like weird specific stuff. Especially since
Mhm.
you start to see like where the reshoots came in with the Prince stuff and how it just kind of interjects in the movie at some moments. And it's like, okay,
Hmm.
all right.
yeah, I think.
Anyway.
But yeah, I think overall, I think the strongest parts for me and the weakest parts come from those changes. I like once again we did the Prince plot again, but this time they actually have something in common. They like it's not just like, oh, it's a pretty girl, make out, and we're done. It's more like yeah, we both believe in the same cause, and that's an easy way for us to come together. We technically have a shared history, so that works too. We're getting to know each other. I thought that was dope. I didn't really like the brigade as much, especially like Peter Dinklage. No, that was Peter Dinklage, right? Yeah, where he was like, I am the guy who shoots arrows really well. I was like, all right, bro, like, shut up. But I didn't even think the brigade was needed. I think if you just cut the brigade and just kept like the Prince guy, like that could have been the same plot,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, again, those characters were recycled leftovers from the original plot of the movie. So,
And in fact, I think it would have hit
but
harder if the Prince was like, I don't really believe in like other people. Like you're because that was his song basically. It was like, yeah, you're nice, you trust people and everything, but I don't trust anybody, even though I have a team behind me that I would die for. But I don't trust anybody. I think it would have been nicer if he was just like a rogue on his own. And like he was trying to make a change on his own because he just thought the queen was fucked up. But he didn't really have any deep relations with people. And maybe Snow White was the first person he was like, oh, okay, well, guess there is good in the world. So that's kind of where I would go with that. But I don't know.
yeah. So,
Um,
all right then. Let's see. Oh, how did you guys feel about the iconic kiss scene?
I thought it was like for a live action interpretation of it.
Iconic, he said.
You hated it?
Nah, he says
Okay.
he's iconic.
Well, I mean, it was one of the well, yeah, it is an iconic
Yeah,
scene in
technically,
film.
it was Disney's first kiss, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they were gonna kiss at the party. That's why I guess like he did like
Oh
the only reason they
no. We mean like in general, like Disney's wasn't it like their first ever anime thing.
it was their first
Yeah.
Renaissance anime. I mean, Steamboat Willie came first, but it was their first like Renaissance era animation. Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't a film though. It was a film.
yeah. Maybe I would have to look at it, but
But
I mean,
it
I
was
don't
their
know if it's the
first
first
princess
film.
kiss set the
Yeah.
film.
Yeah,
I guess it's iconic in that sense.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
At least it
thought
was their audience, I mean, definitely tell they had to force that scene in there, but yeah.
I thought
I like the
in terms
I
of,
want to see bloopers where the prince and her are both struggling to kiss each other because they both don't like each other now.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
like
that would be fun.
the framing and the actual kiss itself. I thought was very like for a live action interpretation that was very like tasteful. I think my issue with it was that it was never established. I don't think it was that True Love's first kiss could wake her up because I was
Yeah, it
like,
was established.
It was.
It was literally when the queen was. Yeah, it was
Oh.
literally when the queen was reading about the spell for the poison apple, where the person can only be awakened up by true love's first kiss. Yeah.
Okay. My issue then is like
I like how
she
I didn't realize that same thing was used twice. That's the same thing as Sleep Beauty, right? So what the fuck? This is right at this, bro. That's kind of crazy.
It's like a common spell, it's like a thing they all do. I think my
both
critique
queens just dab each other up. I'm like, yeah, this is our one plan.
I think my next critique would be I don't remember the original. I don't think the queen knew that there was a guy who liked Snow White. So, but in this one, she does just kill him, right? Like just to be safe.
And she took over. She married her Snow White's dad. She didn't like Snow White because she was fair. She tried to kill her. She ran away, and all she knew was that she was alive in the cottage, and then Bucky killed her.
Right. In this version, she takes the pendant. She's like, "Oh, you guys like each other. You actually like her." So it's like, just kill him. Like, what? He's only a hindrance to your plan. If he ever gets out, this happens.
Jake. To be fair, this movie literally started off with her wanting to kill that prince. So, yeah. If given the chance, I definitely think
it would have been better if he took his kingdom and killed his dad. I'm just saying. And it's like, well, I got to get rid of him too. I can't leave it in.
Yeah.
I think I also had another problem with the movie, and this is more like and maybe this is like going to be a Return of the Jedi situation where it's going to take me like 30 years to be like, oh, that's what she meant. But I hated I hate this part where like Snow White goes up to the queen and he's like, you're going to have to leave the kingdom now. And she's like, well, then you're going to have to kill me. And she's like, I can't do it. I'm like, okay, well, like, what were you prepared to do at this point? Because you knew going in.
Honestly, dude, what's wrong with you? Regional people always come through in the end of that.
I guess it's just like at best you knew the people were going to be right behind you, but you knew bare minimum that the queen would have her soldiers because, like, why would they follow you out of context? You know what I mean? So it's like, what was your plan here?
I mean, Snow White, for God's sakes, again, this movie started off with the queen wanting to kill the prince, right? And not even like an hour ago, she tried killing you with a poison apple. Like, come on.
Like, it's nice that you have this good heart, but at some point you got to be like, so what's the game plan? Like, I'm not even saying kill her is the option. I'm just saying, like, you need a game plan to get her in jail or something, or get her out.
What he should have did was kept a part of the apple and fed it to her.
Oh, yeah. And then if someone could love you, then you could wake up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but remember, we need
her dad was going to lay the fat one right up.
Yeah. But remember, they had to write it in a way where it was a possible defeat that Snow White would have given the queen. Because, hey, remember the original audience? It was the dwarves that were the ones who killed the queen. You know?
Yes. Well, I mean, she didn't kill.
Let's take more from little people.
Yeah, the brigade had to, because the brigaders. So that was my other problem too. Like, the dwarves were just not there. It wasn't even that they. I thought about it too. It was like it's more like they just weren't there at all. That bothered me less than they didn't kill the queen.
It's because of the reshoots, Jake. Because they were forced to be added into this.
3 of them did not have lines before film.
Right. So it's like
no.
So it was like I appreciate. It's that the brigade was there, but like to hype her up. But like, yeah, like where are your boys? They were this would be the first line of defense here. But
and also to be fair, man, there could have been a moment where the brigade could have had a win for them when that short guy who always brags about the crossbow, right? He could have been the one to give the kill shot to the queen, but instead he shot her dagger out of her hand.
Well, I'm okay with that because the queen has to come face to face with the fact that she was just fucking wrong, and I liked that.
Technically, she wasn't wrong. I mean, the mirror said, "Yeah, you're fairest in terms of being pretty, but Snow White's fairest in terms of being, inner."
Yeah, but I like a Disney villain that gets a little irony. I think that's one of my favorite Disney does. Like the ones that's like Like I did the thing that would have won me in any other situation, but not today. Like I like in Tarzan where Tarzan will kill Kerchak, but Kerchak goes to kill him and he just falls and like snaps his neck, or like Scar, where he wins the fight with Simba, but he falls anyway. Like he just like I like the ironic deaths in Disney more than the say it again.
That's how Scar died.
No, he has Simba on like the ledge or something, and I forgot how this is. Like he had him on the ledge, and then somehow he gets knocked over.
He jumps at Simba. Simba flips him over, but he dies because hyenas eat him.
Oh, I remember something. Maybe I just remember the movie. Okay, I haven't seen the movie in a while. I just remember. I remember he was. Yeah, I remember he was. I remember like someone being on the ledge or something. He was like struggling to get up or something.
Yeah. No. He Scar died to him. Simba basically used his two back legs to kick him over the edge, and then then hyena was like, "Damn, bro, you lost." And then he just talk all that shit about us a minute ago.
Oh, yeah,
we hungry.
But see, even that's an ironic. It was like the people around him are the ones that killed him. Like he surrounded himself with these thieves and killers, and then they killed him. I like those deaths.
Wow, whoever would have thought that the group that literally does cannibalism would end up wanting to eat you at the end, you know?
We're not a Disney villain. He's stupid.
Never forget that.
But I did like that even though it was terribly like framed, I did like the mirror. She broke the mirror because she was mad, and the mirror killed her. That was kind of cool.
It kind of felt like they were setting up for a potential sequel at that point, you know, because remember there wasn't it implied that the queen just has Snow White's father locked up somewhere or something like that?
No, they said like Snow White just accepted he was dead at some point. I don't think they were gonna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What was I gonna? But I like that. I just wish. I really wish. Again, going to the visuals, I think it would have been. And they kind of do it, but they don't really lean into it. I wish it was still like pulled up on the prince, on the queen. It wasn't just the people there. I don't like that those animals were there in the crowd. I would like that the drawers were there in the crowd. It's like she had her whole posse there. It just looks silly as fuck.
No, you know what this man wanted? You know he just described?
What?
They like literally the final battle of Shrek, like Shrek 2 or something.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go. You know,
I wanted this a silly thing where like, look at all the people I've inspired. Look at all the creatures I inspired, bitch.
This kingdom from long ago is the ultimate diversity kingdom. You know, like we have one of every kind here. You know, wow.
Yeah, I think I do like how the queen was a little scared that Snow White might have killed her. You can see in her face, she was like, "Oh, she might do it." Wait a minute, don't do it. I think that whole final confrontation was a mess, honestly, and yeah, it just better.
Yeah, how'd you guys feel about Dopey talking?
It took me by surprise because I knew it was gonna happen, but when he did it, I was like, "Who's talking?" Like I looked up from my phone, I was like, "Who's talking right now?"
Wait. You said it took you by surprise because you knew it was happening. Is that what you said?
No. I'm saying I knew it happened, but it took me by surprise. I knew it was going to happen, but it took me by surprise when it happened. Like I was like, for some reason, I was just like not expecting that voice for some reason. I was like, "Oh."
Gotcha. Okay. I was just surprised I gave more characterization to Dopey as opposed to Grumpy. Most adaptations you would think you see Grumpy.
War for anything, you know?
Yeah, you know.
You could have had Grumpy be the traitor.
Yeah, did you guys find it weird that like you're telling me throughout like the 200 years you guys were all working in this mine, Dopey just chose not to talk to any of y'all?
Yeah.
I would have punched the shit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
They bullied him for it. They're like, "Why aren't you talking? Fuck you."
How could somebody who's literally named Happy be a bully to Dopey, Jake?
Because fuck it. Because at some point you gotta be frustrated that your little brother ain't talking to you, bro. I don't tell you.
Okay, but Dopey would talk.
I would have swung on her and I was like, "Oh my god, I thought that was someone else." What do you mean you could talk this whole time?
You're talking to Snow White because she was kind with you? Dude, we were basically brothers all this time, dude. And you never talked one time.
I worked there and I could put food on your table.
Yeah. You think Dopey was the one who made that house for them? No. Come on. You know?
You don't know how to build a house, Jake?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was like okay. It was just another way for Snow White to get into the group. I do agree though they should have leaned more into Grumpy. I did like the bit where she was like, thanks to all of you for letting me here, even you, Grumpy. And Grumpy's like, oh, that was kind of good. She was nice to me the whole time.
Like, hey, I mean, I was planning on ratting you out to the queen for a reward, but okay. You know?
Yeah, I saw the amount of food in the kingdom, and I was like, you know what? Maybe he can get sold.
Yeah, I just think, like I said, I don't think the dwarves' runtime was the problem. I just think the way they used it, I think, was the problem. Give them more like
they wanted to have it both ways, man. They wanted dwarves and they wanted dwarf replacements at the same time, dude.
I think that could work. I mean, obviously, if you took the brigade out, the dwarves get more to do, and vice versa. I'm saying that I think that could have worked. The dwarves had enough of their screen time. I just think it just wasn't really utilized well to highlight them in the best way possible. Yeah. I think like if the movie if the movie led into the visuals, you could visually tell, like you could do little animations with them to really more highlight their character and their personalities and how they interact with each other. I mean, like their shows like TMNT 2012 does a great job of this, where like maybe not every episode is about a turtle, but if you look in the background and how the turtles are interacting, you get a lot of personality out of them and how they treat each other, basically like secondary animations. And I think I think this movie needed more of that to balance such a big cast, I think. But yeah.
Gotcha. So, all right. Was there any other character we haven't talked about yet? Or any scene
we're talking about?
I guess we talk about the meta aspect. This movie is probably going to bomb. I don't think it really has I don't think Snow White in general has the star power that Lion King does. Let alone this movie just not being great.
That's what the lawyers opening already.
Yeah. I think it's like a mix of like, it's not as popular as Lion King is, and it's also just not a great movie anyway. So I think those two factors are meaning it's probably going to bomb. So
and the idea of the actors doing a lot of damage to the PR of this movie. Yeah. Hey, I'm talking about Ziegler, like she kept.
No, I'll tell you, both of them did.
Okay. And their own. Well, one did more so than the other.
They weren't to a specific crowd of people, but still.
Yeah.
Like that's. Look, I'm just saying that's which reason I watched the film.
Yeah. Yeah. If this film bombs, I mean, well,
it wasn't get a sequel anyway. I don't care.
Yeah. If there was any live action Disney film that should bomb, I would have to say it kind of had to be this one, just based on the attitude of the actress herself, because that really it should not be the way. If you're going to be headlining a movie, one that is as iconic as Snow White, you really shouldn't have been saying a lot of those things you were saying, So, yeah.
I don't think it matters if these movies bomb because they don't get sequels. Like, I'm telling you right now, even this movie did amazing, and they're not gonna be like, let's get the straight DVD sequel on the big screen. They're not doing that. Okay? They do it of the film. They actually chose to do a prequel for Lion King instead of doing the sequel. Okay, so I don't think it matters. As long as Lilo and Stitch works out, in my opinion.
Austin, you don't think they already have the idea of a sequel to The Lion King in their minds right now?
No, now they do. I'm saying they're no, now they do. But originally, if they already had a sequel, they could have made, and they chose to do a random prequel.
Yeah.
Lion King 2 is this. Lion King is the one that have this. They chose to do a prequel that didn't exist. Never forget that.
I do want to shout out though, like I do think again they're slowly taking in the feedback now. Obviously, it's again counter feedback as well. But they took in the feedback that these movies can't just be straight up 1-to-1s, which I do want to take note of. I think that's also pretty good as well.
Wait, no. Who said that?
What
the only one that was a 1-to-1 for Lion King. Every other one they changed.
Every time I hear these movies, Especially like from Double Toasted, where it's like, I just wish they did something different. Like every time I hear a Disney remake, it's like, I don't want to see a remake of something I've already seen. I can just watch the original because it's gonna be the same story anyway. That's why I keep hearing. So like, so I have to assume I've only watched like 3 of these. I have to assume that's the problem with the rest of them.
Everyone from the first one for 2011 Cinderella has been drastically different one way or another. I think Cinderella was the best one they did because not only did they still keep the original story of everything that happened how it was, the rest of the runtime was literally just fleshing out the prince and everyone else around it.
Well, yeah,
I just want to do that.
Like I said, I've only seen 3 of these. I just heard that's a common complaint, and all 3 of these, I'm like, well, it seems like they're not doing that as much anymore. So like, I don't know if they were doing that.
I don't know. The only one I haven't seen is Little Mermaid, so I can't. I think Beauty and the Beast. That wasn't a one to win.
Yeah,
I think that's something more because they chose a woman who can't sing. But whatever. I love Emma Watson. She can't sing.
Little Mermaid wasn't a 1-to-1. It just did tweaks stuff. It wasn't like a major story overhaul. It was just like tweaks to make the story like work. But this one was like kind of. This one was like a very different story, which is fine. Yeah. I had no problem with that. On paper. So yeah, I just think it comes down to you need to make the visual, and it seems like Lilo and Stitch is doing that for people. I see a lot of people really positive about Lilo and Stitch live action.
No, I think the case they're doing that. No, I think the case they're doing Lilo and Stitch is gonna be more damaging on more time.
You think so?
Because people are already mad about their casting for Nala, and they're changing Nala's position. So the Lilo and Stitch show and movie are not the same thing. The movie was Nala's story in the movie was about how tourism affects Hawaii and how she could not get a job support for her sister because basically the only jobs native Hawaiian can get is either a tourist or some other low paying jobs because most of their money now comes from tourism. And they kind of changed that whole aspect of her story, and I think that's going to be very lacking from that side of stuff.
Well, you said
that's like a big lesson to learn.
You said the movie and the TV show are not the same. Are they changing it to be the TV show version? I don't know. Like, is that?
No. I was saying the messages of the both are not the same. That's the message of the movie, and then the TV show just there to entertain you. Well, it has a message, but it's not the same message for her storyline.
Okay.
What they're doing is basically instead of like being anti-tourism, they're making it pro-tourism, which is totally opposite of what I see.
I just thought by the circles I've seen that people were surprisingly the people who usually like shit on these movies, at least to me, they saw the trailer. I don't know if they know the details of the movie. They've been positive, so that's the only thing I could say.
The trailer itself is good. The only thing people I see really didn't like other than Nala thing for the people who actually watch the animated film, is the 2 aliens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They have the shitty ass disguises, but in this one they have like the better ones.
One always dresses up as a woman, and they adamantly made him dress up as a man, and that pissed people off.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I mean, they don't want to affect them. Well, I mean, they don't want to stand out. That's the thing. Those Jumbo and Pleakley. Come on.
But that was the joke. That was the joke that they didn't want to, but they did.
No, the joke was Pleakley was bad at it.
But I don't know.
He got to be a gender he didn't understand.
I don't know how easy it is to translate, not because of the subject matter, but just because of the fact it's a CGI budget, and also I don't know if they want to get like a female actor they have to change out like halfway through random scenes. That was the best. The best they could have done was had a female actor and then change to a male actor, but I think that's more trouble than it's worth. So I think they just kind of bit the bullet. So
I mean, hey, I keep this in mind. Hey, you got to keep this in mind. Like when this is it's based on like the first Lilo and Stitch film, right? In the first Lilo and Stitch film, Pleakley was not like cross-dressing at all in that film. At least to my recollection.
I know that. I just say that what people were mad about. I can get it because that became like a big thing for him. But like I said, I don't think it's going to affect the film overall. I think the Nala thing will have a bigger impact. But that might just be a personal thing for me and people who from Hawaii, I guess, who are crying about it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But
I guess we can see.
Okay, so final verdict time. What are your ratings on Snow White, guys?
6 out of 10. It's not like the worst.
If it's on TV, you don't have to skip it. I'm saying like that.
Yeah. Back in my day, audience, we had a thing called direct-to-DVD films. And I would say this is kind of like of that
Yeah.
quality standard, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, don't go looking for this movie, but like I mean, like I don't know, because if you're I don't know how to recommend this to a fan of Snow White. I don't know, like other than the animation, I don't know what to say. Like it's just another way to tell the story. I guess is the best way to say it. Like I guess that. So,
And you didn't really like the first one. You thought it was boring. Like Jake, watch this movie. I guess it does.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
If you already had an opinion on this film based on the controversies that were on talking
you're
points
probably
the
gonna watch
actress
this film.
said, yeah, that based on the stuff Rachel Ziegler said, then really nothing in this film is going to change your opinion. Let's put it that way, you know.
If you had an opinion on Gal Gadot and her whole situation, I think you should watch this film because she's bad in it, and you can use that to make fun of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But anyway, because Winston's doing it at the start of the episode, I'm gonna do it like back. Fuck Looney Tunes, shitty ass movie. Fuck this movie. All the actors bad. The animation bad.
I did want to say one thing in that review, but I got on the phone. Yeah, because it's Looney Tunes don't mean there cannot be a deep story. Okay, the short stuff had stories. We've seen a lot of Looney Tunes shows with actual stories that were kind of deep for the characters. Okay, you don't have to discredit your own movie by saying, "Oh, it's Looney Tunes." We don't have to try with the story. That's the thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, I guess you can say it doesn't matter. Anyway, guys, join us for tomorrow. We'll be back to our usual schedule with Cryptid back on the team after his solo adventures. You can read all about it in his mini 4-part issue. So
there you go. It's all right, audience.
Yeah, with 19 variant covers.
All with the American flag in the background.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I want that drawn. I want like just cryptid solo, solo miniseries, American flag and an eagle in the background.
Yep. The story arc will be called "I Got My Country Back." Okay. Well, anyway, audience, we'll see y'all next time. See y'all.